Okay, welcome back. Today we are doing a PC building tutorial. Now, I am a rookie myself. I have only a few weeks ago really, finished building my own computer. So I'm going to do this to the best of my abilities. If there's any corrections, please let me know. So, here we've here we've got a standard micro-atx motherboard with an LGA Intel socket. Now, the CPU I've chosen for this build will be an i5 2400. So, what you want to do is carefully slot that in, making sure you line up the little notches on the side. So, once that is in secure, you can push that down. Now, once, once you're pushing it down, it will feel a lot of stress. Now, that is normal. What you want to do is completely push through that until the latch is secure. Now, I have no thermal paste currently, so what I'm going to be using is this thermal pad. Now, while I know it doesn't cover the whole CPU, it will be enough just for this short demonstration. So, this is a standard Intel stock cooler that with no screws, just slots in and pops on. So, what you got to do with these is push them into the socket, push them down, and turn it clockwise to lock it in. So if I were to just do these next ones, now you can see that it is fully secured on. So what you want to do is take your fan header and plug it in round here where the text on the motherboard right here says CPU fan 1. Now it's important that you line the notches up with the notches on the motherboard itself. Otherwise it won't work and it may cause some power issues. So I think the next thing to do would be to take an SSD, or if you don't have access to one, you could take a mechanical hard drive like this one. Now, for this you will need a SATA cable and a power supply that supports SATA. Now, most power supplies will have this. So I'll show you a demonstration of both. So with the SSD, you're going to first, if there is a screw already on the motherboard, you're going to remove that screw. Then you put the SSD in. Now, if it's pointing up like so, that is normal. That's just showing you that it's fully inserted and it won't fall out. So what you're then going to do is take the screw, if I can put it on the screwdriver, press down on the SSD and gently screw it in. So once you know that it's secure, give it a little wobble just to hold it in. Now, this system will not have a GPU, so both of my spare GPUs have corrupted, and this CPU does in fact have integrated graphics, so that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, so if we were to use the mechanical hard drive here, what you're going to need is a SATA cable and plug it in to the hard drive with, maybe there's a metal bit facing towards the label. This is a Seagate 500GB video drive and was my main drive for a while before I upgraded to an SSD. Now that SSD did fail, so we are back on a different mechanical hard drive, but what you want to do is plug this down here into the motherboard. So that would be it, but what you need to do is take your SATA power and plug it in facing the other way from the mechanical hard drive, like so. So, moving on to power situation, you take your 24 pin and plug it in. So this clip matches up with this slot on the motherboard. So just give me a moment to do that. Okay, that is done, and once it's in, you should hear a click. That signifies that implies that it is fully in. Now, if there if there is a failure, which is meaning that there is not enough power supply to the motherboard, the computer will either refuse to turn on, or if it is a newer motherboard model, it will give you an LED telling you what is wrong. Now, I don't know the specific meanings of any of these LEDs, but what I do know is that this CPU power cable goes in this slot over here next to the CPU fan, that you can see this one here. So again, clip to clip slot and make sure that it is fully inserted with a click. So next thing we're going to do is move on to the RAM. Now what I've got here is two 8GB sticks of low profile DDR3 RAM. So we're going to take that and open the clips on the motherboard. Again, newer motherboard models will have maybe only one clip, some may still have two, but you're going to push them both in until the clamps click into place, like so. And if you do have two sticks, follow your motherboard's manual, but if it's a micro-atx motherboard like this, with only two slots, it's pretty safe to just put them in both slots. So, if your motherboard does not already come with a CMOS battery, which is this little coin battery right here, you're going to need to get one. Now, on this specific motherboard model, the CMOS battery location is right here under the SSD. So you want to push that in again until you hear a click, and I believe that is the computer itself finished. So the next thing to do would be to connect this to a monitor and install Windows. Now I will save that for a future video because this is running a little long, but if there's anything else, of course there's case fans and all that, but there's other tutorials. If there's anything else, let me know. If there's anything you'd like to see, let me know. Now this is my, I believe, third tech video of the Tech Tinkering playlist. There will be more in the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.